So some of you have probably tuned in already, but a couple hours ago, we did have a live stream for the next festival unit. And I know what you're probably thinking. That's a pretty big red flag because we are literally still in the middle of the Chaos Arthur Festival. So why would we be doing back-to-back festivals? I feel like that's something they said they weren't going to do in the past, especially when it came to how much people voiced their opinions when Margaret and Cusack dropped in the literal same month as a part 1 and a part 2. And then Margaret got immediately like overshadowed because she wasn't that good. She had to get buffed later on. It was this whole thing. So that's probably going to be a repeat. Arthur is probably going to fall off literally right here, right now, in the same month that he is out because of this new Gowther. Now, I don't know what this festival is supposed to be. They threw in the word awesome, and translation says this is a spring festival. So we're just making up reasons to have festivals. And I don't even know what this Gowther is. I think it has to be for Coda, because I've never seen this outfit in the actual Seven Deadly Sins anime, unless it's some movie spin-off version of him. Because at first I did think it could be a Ragnarok update, because we've been long overdue. But if you scroll through the patch notes, which I'm not going to go too in-depth on, there isn't a Ragnarok chapter, which usually is indicative of a Ragnarok update, but there is not. The only really crazy things in here is that the new demonic beast Ratatasker is out. He's a rat, but he looks like a squirrel. He got some chipmunk buck teeth, and he wears a helmet with what looks like a literal lightning bolt on it, so that's exciting. The aura is not there that the other demonic beasts have. And it looks like Hawk and Ozzo get a relic, and Mael get a relic. So let's just take a little peek-see at that. First, the Mael relic, when goddess allies use a single target skill, increase their damage by 20% up to a maximum of 60%, and when goddess allies use AoEs, increase their attack-related stats by 10%, up to a maximum of 30%. That's actually super strong. You're just boosting literally all damage types to the angels. So that's insane. I'm not sure if that is going to be game mode specific, if that's going to be, you know, only PvE, only PvP, whatever. Hawk and Oslo increase HP of allies by 15%. I think Liz Relic, right, isn't that better because she's doing HP related by either 10 or 15, so he's not usable, never was, never will be. The rest of the update you guys can probably check out on your own. I don't think there's anything too crazy in here. Mostly want to focus on Gowther. So, what's going on with this man? Well, yeah, let's look at the banner first. This is another reason that I thought it was going to be a Ragnarok update, because the first festival filler you see is Hel, right? And she has not rerun since her debut on a Ragnarok festival. And so I'm like, okay, we got a Ragnarok update. Cool, that's very cool. They made up some Gowther bullshit to fit in the Rag story. Great. And then you see Mael, and I'm like, okay, so we're throwing in kind of the same era, same timeline of units. I think Hel and Mael were both like year 3 units. And then I see Deanne, and then I see the one, and then I see Merlin, Lolly Merlin, and these are literally year 1 festivals, and it's all over the place. You see my Margaret, LR Margaret, year 2, I think, and it's just, this is a random hodgepodge of units, considering that Deanne, the One, and Merlin are your coin shop festivals, so they're basically almost always available. These 3, right? Oh, including Margaret. They're throwing on coin shops. So really, the only spice here is light and dark, being Hel and Mael. The rest of the banner is mid. I mean, I guess it's not terrible. You have Halloween Gowther, if you never got him. Summer Deanne, Jelly King, Tyr, LR Liz, LR Eska, which I don't know why I'm pointing that out. Everybody has him, probably 6'6" by now if you played since the first year. Tristan, Backline Cusack, Red Meg if you don't have her. Yeah. Banner is fine, I guess. I guess the real kicker here is that they are putting a UR mileage point at the 3 and 600 spots. So they're finally letting you know that, hey, there is a small chance that you could get Gowther at 3 and 600. I imagine they're going to do that for your UR banners in the future. So we absolutely got cucked with Demon King Melee. We got cucked with Chaos Arthur. Gowther, what is his title? Wandering Knight Gowther. Peaceful Journey, Wandering Knight Gowther. Great. So a Lost Boy in the Woods is getting a rate up on 3 and the 600 mileage marker. He also has his Power Up banner, which is pretty normal. 0.375 on his rates, up from 0.25, which, yeah, it's lower than normal because the filler is massive. So let's take a look at his kits. which we have translated over yonder, I think right here. GameWith has translated this for us to make this nice and easy. So, what are we looking at? First skill is going to be dealing pierce damage equal to 180% of attack to a single enemy, and reduces their gauge by 1. So this is going to be your standard single target gauge removal slapped onto some pierce damage. So the scaling 1, 2, 3 for the gauge removal, and then 180 to 7450 for the damage. Okay. Skill 2 is a buff. Remove debuff effects from a single ally and increases rank. Okay, so here's where the rank up shines. So we got the rank up and we tacked it onto a cleanse. Okay, crazy. Remove debuff effects from all allies and increase their skill ranks. Okay, remove debuff effects from all allies, rank up their skills, and then increase their basic stats by 20%. Okay, so that's your normal rank up. Literally at ranks 1, 2, and 3, it's the same thing, except they tacked on a cleanse. So why not? So that's great. Cleanse is, you know, pretty huge support skill. You can see this is going to be, he's probably going to be used in a lot of PvE now, because literally just because of this. This is insane. Unless Ratatasker has some dumb thing that, like Eikthenir did about having, if you rank up, I'm going to hurt you really badly. So you had to rank up at the end of his turn when he died already. But we'll see. His ultimate, give all allies Peace Guardian effect for 3 turns, and inflict crush damage equal to 400% of attack on all enemies. So the scaling per ult level is going to be 50%, so it's going to deal 650%, I believe detonate is what it's called in English, detonate damage, dealing 20% additional damage per gauge in your ultimate move gauge. Guardian of Peace is a buff that's going to increase your basic stats from 5 to 30, depending on ult level. And then once that wears off, your skills rank up. Okay. So we have a second rank up built into this kit. Alright, that's great. And then it looks like at some ult level, probably 6-6, you're going to disable all skills. So sort of like a 6-6 Margaret and Red Tarn Link. Same thing. And then it's passive. For each ally, the 7 Deadly Sins characteristic in battle, that ally's basic stats will increase by 5%. And each time you use a buff, your rank will be strengthened for 2 turns. I think this translates a little funny. I think people are calling this rank reinforcement, which is down here. We'll check that out in a second. And then so once that's applied, for each debuff effect removed, the ally's HP will increase by 2% up to a maximum of 20. And then if 3 allies of different races each use 1 or more skills during their turn, their skill will rank up. Wait, what? We have a 3rd rank up? This man is actually... Wow, okay. So this is literally the next broken rank up unit. They've managed to fit in 3 rank ups. 3 rank ups into a single unit. This guy's going to be used everywhere. That's insane. I feel like that's broken. Is that not really strong? Especially considering that his rank up is tied to basic stat increase. His rank up is tied to basic stat increase and HP increase. His rank up is tied to a cleanse. Like, that's, I don't know, maybe I'm overreacting, but that's actually super good. Okay, and then rank enhancement, right? The rank reinforcement. So this is a buff, or maybe it's something. It's definitely some kind of buff, and that when you use a skill, it has an additional effect depending on the rank. So at rank 1, it does an additional. The skill will have plus 30% pierce rate, and then at rank 2, it'll ignore 10% crit resistance, plus 30% pierce rate, and then at rank 3, ignore 10% crit res and 20% crit def. So pretty big, pretty strong. That rank 3 is going to happen a lot because, like I said, this man has 3 rank ups. How applicable is this passive? So we're looking at 7 Sins. So if the 7 Sins weren't already on top, as in a tier 1 PvP unit, or PvP team, they are absolutely fucking god mode right now. Maybe like tier 0. I think that's an over-exaggeration, but they're definitely busted. They need to make sure that they are using 3 different races, and that their skills can rank up. So that's super easy, actually, considering that these 7 Deadly Sins come from literally different clans to begin with, right? Demon, human, fairy, giant, goddess. No, Liz doesn't count. Double Unknown with Gowther and Merlin. And I guess double human with Escanor and Bon. But you're not going to be running Bon, most likely. Probably going to be on the human team, so you're not going to run Esca. What does Game With consider to be the top PvP version of the 7 Deadly Sins comp? Let's check that out. God Melly, Light Bon, Green King, and Festival Merlin. So I would say I've been liking the Valentine's Deanne on this team comp over the Bon. So it really increases your defensive measures, right? You start off with that shield from King, and you get that taunt and attack buff from Deanne, I believe. She has an attack buff. And then I think King also has his attack buff when you break the shield. So that's pretty strong already. Merlin in the back, increasing sins with her relic. So Gowther probably takes the King slot, because I think their kit is, for the most part, is pretty similar. Attack buff, right? Shield, so a supportive measure, and then the I think he had a drain, right? He has a rank 1 drain and an AoE pierce effect. So yeah, Gowther is pretty much going to be the new support here with triple rank up, a cleanse, ult removal, and his basic stat increases that are out the ass. So that's going to be insane. Obviously, God King Melly's still going to be there. So Melly, Gowther, I imagine Merlin's going to be the back still because she's kind of the best unit. So you are going to lose that aspect of his passive when Merlin does come to the front. But it's probably not going to happen too much because the Sins have insane CC. You're now, with Gowther and Melly, probably top 2 CC units, top 2 out of top 3 in the game go onto one team. So they are going to be probably going first majority of the time. So, and I mean, I guess you can move King to this slot. This could still be Bon. You just need to make sure that the battlefield front 3 are different races, and that's super easy. Because like I said, you're never going to do humans. You're not going to run both Escanor and Bon here. And you're not going to frontline Merlin. So, insane flexibility there. I can see him being in Demonic Beasts all over the place because of this cleanse rank up shenanigans. I imagine he's probably going to be the primo unit for Ratatasker, just considering that they're dropping at the same time. Why would you not want Gowther to sort of excel in your new beast? And then, obviously, he could get a relic at any time, breaking, I don't know, his kit altogether. Right now, it seems like Rat's going to be sort of introducing the newer festivals with Mael, so there's a good chance that Purg Melly, God Melly, Demon King Seldris, maybe Hela, maybe Arthur, all of them could have their relics come out of Mael. But honestly, I think this Gowther is super good. I think triple rank up is insanely broken. I think he's going to be meta, obviously, in the 7 Deadly Sins comp, and who knows, maybe some other strange variations of a... No, actually, that's pretty specific to 7 Deadly Sins. 7 Deadly Sins in different races, so... I think he's broken. I think he's strong. I think he's meta. I think adios Arthur. Everyone's going to move right back over to the 7 Deadly Sins team. But that's sort of my thoughts on the new Gowther. You guys tell me what you think. If you guys like it, drop a thumb. Maybe so if you're into that. And I'll see you in the next one.